Today we're just gonna go right in. No intro. I'm gonna give you the info right here. You're just seeing it right now. Now let me stop you real quick. If you haven't checked out my team building guide, I suggest that you watch that first to fully understand what is going on. There's gonna be a lot of detail today that is not included in these tier lists. There were some creators I have talked to individually that have made great lists, but I'm not gonna name. Anyways, there is one that is just deceiving you guys and they're not providing you the details, and that's why I need to make this video. So let me break down how exactly amino class can help you, what this artifact does, and how to incorporate them into your team if you decide to do so. And the reason why I said if is because you do not need to bring an ANEMO character as a support. Now, how do you even go about getting this artifact set? Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to prepare for as a free-to-play or a whale? I made a guide for the resin system in total detail and what you need to save and what you need to use. So make sure you guys check that video so that when the time comes, when you're at adventure rank 45, you're able to get these, farm these. So viridescent, I can't pronounce shit, but here we go. The 2-piece bonus, ANEMO damage bonus 15%. That is just an icing on top. That's great, but let's take a look at the 4-piece set here. Increases swirl damage by 60%. Okay, that's not bad. Decreases, here we go, the best part, opponents' elemental resistance to the element infused in the swirl by 40% for 10 seconds. What did you just say? What did you just say, dude? So basically, it decreases resistance of the element that got swirled. Okay, first of all, Zeals, I haven't watched any of your videos. I don't even know what resistance is. So basically, resistance, most enemies in this game, not all, most have 10% resistance. Meaning that if you did 100 electro damage to me and I had 10% resistance, I only take 90 of the 100. Now, you can reduce my resistance not only down to 0, but beyond 0. I don't know why I'm choking, but beyond 0. But here we go. This is a fine detail you will not find anywhere else. Things have been changed. When you get resistance down below 0, the effectiveness decreases by half. So let's say I have 10% electro resistance, and then you reduced it with this artifact or other things that you can reduce it with, which I'll talk about real soon. So let's say you reduce it by 40%. So after 0, it gets halved, right? Halved. So what happens is that my resistance will not be minus 30, but minus 15%, which is a almost 28% increase in damage, DPS, baby. So now you can see how powerful this thing is. But the second question on your mind is, what the hell is Swirl? Okay, maybe you have noticed it when you're fighting. Swirl is an elemental reaction that happens with every other element except ANEMO and Geo. Now, when you swirl and you have multiple elements on an enemy, it's only going to swirl one elemental type. So this requires some planning. So let's take a look at Venti's constellation. I keep trying to say constipation, but how do you get constellation? If you have duplicate copies, it's not totally wasted. You unlock their constellation. So if you take a look at his second one, you can also reduce ANEMO resistance and physical resistance. I know this is going to be really hard to get even for whales, but Constellation 6, you can see that when Venti swirls with any of his ANEMO attacks, which is all of his abilities, he's not only going to reduce ANEMO resistance, but the resistance of the element that he just swirled, like Electro, for example. Now, before you click away, before you get disappointed, the main character also has this. You get this for free just by playing the game, totally free. So when you get to C6, Constellation 6, you'll see that she or he can also do what Venti does. A C6, Constellation 6 ANEMO main character will do more damage than Venti with no constellation, no duplicates. However, of course, Venti doesn't knock back, and he has a great CC ability and suck ability with his ult. The main character has CC as well and can knock back, but if you don't like knockback, if you're trying to group things together, then Venti is the go-to. But the main point is you can reduce resistance with the main character as well as a free-to-play. Now, Sucrose does not have this in a constellation, but that's what the artifact is for. It enables that kind of play for all ANEMO characters, including Miss Jean, of course. Jean has already so much utility and support. You can use that artifact, or you can use a different artifact that increases your party's attack after using her ult. This also applies to reaction damage. For example, let's say you swirled Pyro and you lowered Pyro resistance, then your overload damage will increase as well. It's awesome. So this is one of the 3 major reasons why you want to stack the same element type as your main damage carry, as you are seeing. For example, we have Fischl supporting Keqing. This is why some tier lists that just say this character is here, SS or S, it's not doing any justice. It's not teaching you anything. It's not telling you how to build a team, what the requirements are. Because, well, there are really good tier lists out there that explains everything in text or in a nice spreadsheet and things like that, but there are some that are just there to get the clicks. So why do we have 2 of the same elemental types? Let me give you the 3 answers. For example, here we have Fischl. We're gonna drop E, and we're going to swirl that electro damage coming from Oz. So after swirling with either Venti or a C6 main character, we're going to swap over to the main damage carry. Because electro resistance just got reduced from the swirl because of the artifact or from the constellation, we're going to do more electro damage. However, we're missing a 4th. We need to cause reactions, whether it be superconduct, whether it be overload. All right, the second reason why, go into your party setup in your setting. The second reason why is click this button top right, and you'll see the party buff. By having 2 of the same elemental type, we have activated high voltage, so we get the perk right there. One example of a popular one is Fervent Flames. When you have 2 Pyro users, increases attack by 25%. The first step, we talked about lowering resistance, which is an effective means of increasing DPS. Number 2, we talked about the party buff, increasing your damage per second as well. And then number 3 is we're going to talk about another one that increases your damage, which is energy generation. We need energy to use beautiful ults. There are many ways to gain energy, but the main one is by using the skill E on your enemies. The more enemies you hit with your E ability, the more energy that you'll generate. Now, depending on the elemental type of the skill that you use, the E skill is going to determine the color or the type of elemental particles. So if I used an ANEMO E skill, then it's going to give me the ANEMO colored particles. For example, if I used E with an ANEMO character, both my ANEMO characters will get the same amount of energy whether they're fighting or not. For other elemental types, they'll get 1/3 of the energy that my ANEMO characters got from the ANEMO colored particles. Now, of course, you can get energy from clear particles, which is pretty much killing your enemies or getting them below a certain threshold in terms of HP. For example, I'm not saying go build this right now. This isn't like, you know, the go-to meta. I'm just explaining how it works. If I have Fischl and Keqing together, every time they use their E skills, then they are going to generate equal amounts of electro energy, meaning that they'll be able to pop off more frequently, meaning that they'll be able to generate more clear energy particles, which gives the entire party more energy to do their ults. You see where we're going with this. It has a snowball effect. All these things stack up. It's not just one character like Diluc at the top because just Diluc. No, you need to support the shit out of it. That's what I'm trying to say here. So that is how ANEMO support works. And that's how team building works, pretty much. Now, if you're still watching this video, just because I made a video about this, that does not mean you go out there and build an ANEMO support. You cannot always pull this off. You have such a small window to do this. Sometimes you may need to break a shield or dodge abilities. in harder content. So this is just an example of how to maximize your DPS in a setting that allows it. If you enjoyed the video, smack this video a like. Maybe it helped you understand a little bit more about team building.